There we go. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very, very well. So, um, first of all, I wanted to say Virgin River is not necessarily the type of show that I would watch otherwise, but I really got into it. I was really enjoying this season. I was enjoying when you popped up, and your arc was really fun. And I don't know, something about that show just felt really great. It fit into the pocket. What did you like most about shooting it?
Well, I feel like there's something so wonderful about Virgin River in the sense that there's something for everybody. Like, I didn't know if my mom and dad would both like it. I thought my mom would for sure, but they both ended up loving it. I have so many friends that watched it to support me and ended up loving it as well. I I just loved working on it and getting to step into this world that was already established, and everyone was so welcoming and awesome, and my character is pretty fun to play.
Yeah, it really did seem that way. What did you use? What sort of techniques did you use to sort of lean into her, and how free spirited she is, for example?
Well, I can relate to her in some senses, but I was never as confident as she is. So it was kind of fun to play into that kind of alter ego confident side of myself and really get to just be like fun and impulsive. So I really just kind of let myself go and let myself be that side of myself that I never really was because I grew up really shy. So it was kind of cathartic to get to be this wild child.
Mm. And the show, of course, has a very stunning landscape. You know, you're subbing it in for elsewhere, but Vancouver, I believe, where you're from, you have a few indoor scenes, a little more inside, but you get to explore that landscape too. What is it like to film there?
Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, I feel so spoiled living in Vancouver. We have the mountains so close, we have the ocean, and I feel like it was a really perfect backdrop for Virgin River. We shot a lot in Vancouver, but a lot of the outdoor stuff was Squamish, which was just such a treat to be in nature like that.
And what did you like most about? I mean, this show was established. It had a good first season, and I caught up on that. But then when you come in, you're a joy. You're very radiant on screen. What was it like to be part of this show? I had seen your post where you were talking about you couldn't talk about it for a while, but then finally being able to talk about it now and for people to see it. What are you most excited about?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I really had a joy being Lizzie. And the whole show, one of my favorite memories was the first time that Lizzie walked into Jack's bar and kind of her entrance and establishing who she was. And she has a tiny exchange with Mel, but that really spoke to who she was as a person and how she felt about the town and everything. And I really loved exploring her arc because she kind of has this hard shell and this this wall up, and slowly the town kind of softens her, and I loved getting to play with that.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, this is your first season for the show, but the show seems to have a very specific audience as well. People who are really into the show. What kind of feedback do you think you're expecting from these fans? And what does it mean to sort of to join this universe?
Well, it feels like an honor to be able to bring Lizzie to life. It's kind of cool to be able to play a character that's written about in a book and already have kind of that source material to work from. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Lizzie's a little bit different. She's older than in the books, and I really hope that the fans love her and feel like I do her justice and bring her spirit to life.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to mention that too. You have the author of the books involved in the show as producer, and these books were very popular, but the show is very much its own thing. Do you use those a bit as a starting point, or do you feel like you're crafting sort of your own world?
Yeah, actually, I've listened to 4 of the audiobooks now, and I really enjoyed getting to hear the story from Robin Carr's perspective because the series is slightly different. So it was cool to hear the original material and get to see all the characters and see all the ones that are woven in. It was really, really awesome. I mean, I have Audible, so I really got into listening to audiobooks, especially over COVID time. So it was
Mm-hmm.
a perfect time to digest some of those books.
Right on. What do you like most about Netflix. I had seen you in The Shadow of the Moon as well. I rewatched that movie. You were great in that one as well. What does it mean to be part of the Netflix family?
I feel pretty honored to be part of the Netflix family. I mean, I watch a lot of Netflix myself, and I feel like they create a lot of really good content and content that reaches a lot of people and content that's very inclusive. And it feels really cool to be able to like turn on Netflix and see a movie that I've done.
Right on. And speaking of which, you have another one on the way, a Netflix title that was kind of interesting for me because I think that I was speaking with your co-star, with Theodore Pellerin, and he might have just been setting up. It might have been his first day on set of the movie. What was your experience like with that? What can you say about it?
Well, not too much, but it is based on a book. So there is some source material again, which I loved because I'm a little bit of a nerd and love reading. And I was like, yes, I get to read this book as well. But it's this horror movie. It's kind of like a teen slasher movie, but it was so fun to be a part of. I love horror movies, so I was just like buzzing when I found out that I got to be a part of it. And that should be coming out in 2021, I think. And I cannot wait to share it.
And it does seem like it's, with a twist, a little different, a take on this than the slasher genre, but a little more modern and up to date. So
yeah, definitely.
What does this mean for you right now when you have, this awesome show where you're going to be appearing coming up, and this movie as well too? I have been watching a lot of your previous projects and they've been cool, but do you feel like this is sort of like a really big time for you right now that you're getting to experience these projects?
Yeah, it actually feels pretty surreal. I mean, I've been working as an actor for 10 years now, and it kind of feels like it's all been like building up to this point. And I just am so grateful for all the people that have helped me along the way. I mean, I've been studying with the same acting coach for 10 years now, Deb Podowski, and she like completely changed my life. And I don't know, I'm just so excited for Virgin River to finally come out and to be able to share this with people. And yeah, I mean, I have seen season 2 and it comes out really soon, and I couldn't be more excited.
What do you think about that when you're watching yourself and when you're seeing yourself in the show? Are you surprised by some of the sort of the avenues in which it took? Also, you get to interact a lot with sort of the other characters, the other plots, but you have very much your own storyline. How do you think of the way that it came together? And it did weave together so nicely.
Yeah, I was really happy with what they wrote for me. I mean, coming into it, I didn't really know exactly where my place would be in the show. I knew that I would have the connection with Ricky, and I knew that for sure. But each time I got a new script, I was excited about what was happening with her and the evolution of her. And it was just pretty awesome.
Right on. So with those projects, and I have enjoyed, I've seen some of them before, rewatching, watching anew with fresh eyes. What have you enjoyed so far in your career? What have been some of the projects, some of the people that you've really enjoyed working with up until this point?
I think one of my favorite projects, honestly, was Death of a Cheerleader. Just because I met 2 of my closest friends now on that, Aubrey Peoples and Morgan Campbell. And we really created this awesome bond. And that doesn't happen all the time when you work on a show, because it's almost like you're in summer camp. You have these 3 weeks together and then you go your separate ways. But it was the first time that right away we just clicked, and we still have a group chat and we're still great friends to this day.
Right on. I got a chance to notice that too. I spoke with Morgan probably way back, about 4 or 5 years ago. It was great. I really enjoyed speaking with her as well too at the time. And then I got to see College Admission Scandal too. I was watching that one last night. You get to be in some of these really interesting projects in which, they're again, sort of takes on the genre, but elevated and different and fun. What have you enjoyed about being able to explore different projects?
Well, I feel like I've never really gotten stuck into maybe typecasting per se. I feel like I've always been able to kind of carve out these different roles for myself. And I think part of that was probably I've been like every hair color now, so maybe that helped. but it's really cool to be able to be a chameleon and not feel like I'm just being the girl next door or just being the popular mean girl. I feel really fortunate to be able to be seen in all these different lights.
So what are some of your favorite things to do on screen? When do you get the most joy as an actor?
Honestly, probably like really heavy drama or horror. It's the most tiring, but there's something really cool about like going to those places and being able to like share that part of you in such a safe environment.
Right on. In Virgin River in particular, again, a really good take on the genre, very elevated, again, fits in the pocket quite nicely, comfortably, and you get to have, to be at a bake shop as well too. That must have been a lot of fun to be able to, I mean, at least imagine that you're, making cupcakes and cooking things up.
Oh yeah, it was always very tempting. Like the set deck is awesome. There's baked goods everywhere. It smells so sweet and delicious, but I couldn't eat any of it.
Right. What did you feel like when, again, when you're shooting this show, plays with sort of expectations, there's a comfort level within the show, but again, I felt like, you were so, you were so expressive, you were able to talk about subjects in a frank manner, which I really appreciated. And also it felt modern and it felt sort of slice of life, but really up to date. How did you feel when you're filming, and how do you feel about sort of the subject matters that you're approaching on the show?
Well, I found that Lizzie felt really authentic to me in the way that she spoke, like you said, very frankly about stuff that could easily have been taken as like melodramatic or heavy, because she is a teenager. And I feel like that's how people talk. When you're having a conversation with someone, you don't necessarily start weeping when you're like talking about your parents. I really found that the way that they handled her character and revealing information about her backstory felt very, very true and very modern.
Right on. So what would your Netflix queue look like? What kind of things have you been streaming, quarantine streaming? What have you been watching? What kind of shows and movies do you enjoy?
Right now, my boyfriend and I are obsessed with Queen's Gambit. It is so incredible. We wake up in the morning and go, okay, when can we watch this today? What do we have to do today? It's really beautifully shot. And then also I love true crime documentaries. So I've been watching ones like that. I just watched one called Carmel, which was subtitled, which took lots of concentration, but it was worth it. Yeah, so far those are my two. And then I've been binging The Good Place.
Very nice, very nice. I had seen Queen's Gambit. You were right about that. It has that feeling of, just intensely within the show, right? Like I was watching every episode, I was like, boom, 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 boom. I was getting to the next one.
Yeah, I never knew a show about chess would be so enthralling.
Right, exactly. And then also just feels, again, comfortable within its space, sort of like Virgin River. So, do you feel like this is going to be, certainly there's fans of the show, but do you feel like people can come to the show now for season 2? Do you feel like, it'll be right there in the trending? Like, what do you think the fans will appreciate, and new fans for this season?
I think that fans will love it, honestly. I think that there is lots of heart, lots of drama, and some new faces that hopefully they will love. But I really think that it's something that they'll be really, really happy with.
Right on. Did you happen to know anybody? It's a lot of Vancouver Canadian actors, but not entirely, some American actors as well too. Did you know anyone coming into the production?
I didn't actually, and I was really welcomed with open arms, which felt awesome because they had already done their season 1. They already had their family, and Virgin River really feels like a family. And so it was kind of cool, even being Lizzie and being this outsider, and how the town embraced me and how the cast also really embraced me as well.
Right on. So when you're doing that landscape, because again, you're subbing it in for another place, but Vancouver just feels like so much of its own, like everyone I talk to who shoots in Vancouver says it's like nowhere else in terms of the nature. And you must enjoy that as well too, probably taking advantage of it as best you can at this time right now.
I do. I love going on little hikes, and it's ski season starting soon, so I'm really excited about that. I just love being able to drive a little bit out of the city, and there's everything you could ever want.
Right on. So a lot of your productions in the past, and this one, some have used Vancouver, some have subbed it in, but the reach, the reach of Virgin River, the reach of Netflix, it's worldwide. So are you excited that you're going to get a chance to, new people may see you for the first time, or, you get to be trending all over the world? That must be very exciting for you.
Yeah, I feel like Netflix has such a wide reach that I haven't really experienced too much of before, which I'm pretty excited about, and excited to connect with fans all over the place, which I've never had the experience of doing before.
Right on, right on. So you get to do a lot of new things, and you've talked about some of the things you've done before. What are some of your future endeavors? What's something that you'd like to do on screen that you haven't had a chance to do before?
I don't know. I would love to write a piece myself and star in it, like write something in my own voice that feels really authentic to me. And over COVID, I finally bit the bullet and started writing myself. I've always been so scared to start because I'm a perfectionist and I only want to do it if it'll be good. So I finally gave myself permission to start writing, which felt pretty awesome. So that would be a huge goal of mine, to write my own project.
Very excited about that. What genre are you writing it in, or have you not?
Kind of coming of age sort of thing. And then because I love the thriller horror genre, I also have one of those that I'm working on as well.
How have you felt about that personally? I mean, in terms of your coming of age and, getting to do a lot of it on screen and sort of growing with the projects that you've been taking
on. I don't know. It's kind of cool to see the evolution of characters I get to play as I get older, and then also growing up myself. I mean, it's kind of cool. I'm 25 now, and it's kind of cool to be able to step back into a 19-year-old's shoes like Lizzie and see the world from her perspective and the decisions that she's making, and trying to figure out what decisions I would have been making at that age. It's cool to be able to jump back into time periods or jump forward even.
Right on. I wanted to say, you seem to have a lot of very supportive people who are commenting, writing to you, looking out for you, and you seem to be very much the same way. Do you think of that as, when you're acting or just on set in general, do you think that's an important thing, just to be a good teammate and to be there for people you're acting with?
Yeah, I think that's very important. I mean, especially with Virgin River, it's an ensemble show, so it's important to be supportive of everyone and the family that we have, but also just in the acting community in general. I feel like I have a wonderful group of actors in Vancouver, and everyone's very supportive, and a win for one person is kind of a win for everybody.
I really like that. I really like how you say that. So important to look out for other people. A win for one person, a win for everybody. That's really nice. Cool. I just want to ask you lastly, and I've really enjoyed speaking with you, again, with this show, how do you like to, I experienced it, I did a few episodes at first, and then I kind of, I did a binge towards the end, and I really enjoyed that. I don't know, I felt like it worked really well, watching you weave in and out, and you have great presence on the show. How do you want people to experience this show, or is it up to them?
I feel like it's up to them, but I feel like once you start watching it, you might have to binge it.
Yeah. It just feels like really a comfortable show in that way, doesn't it? That like once you get into the pocket about watching it, like as I was saying, I wasn't sure, but I really did enjoy that. What?
Yeah, I feel like it's a very it's almost like a comforting show. It feels, there's like a lightheartedness about it. There's still the drama and a little bit of darkness, but I feel like there is such heart to it that it's a show that you can keep watching without maybe needing to take a break if you were watching like a heavy drama show.
Mm-hmm. And again, you just feel like you're right there in it, right when you come on screen. I think you say, what is it, hard pass or something like that?
Yeah.
And then you're just right into it. I really enjoyed that.
I have some of the best lines.
Yeah, right from the start. And you were great in it. And your movie in particular, I'm very excited for that too. I can't wait for that to be announced. And wherever you go from here, I'm sure you have a very bright future ahead of you. So
Well, thank you so much.
All right. I